What is going on, everybody? Disney Williams back at it with another review, and today we are continuing our Superman review series. This will all, of course, be leading up to James Gunn's Superman, and today we are going to be reviewing most people consider this the first Superman movie, the first actual one, including myself, even though I watched Superman vs. the Moment. That, of course, being Superman the movie. But before getting textual, beginning of the review itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also maybe help with the YouTube algorithm, and I recommend the video to more people, maybe they could join. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Superman the movie down below. With that being said, guys, let's give a quick plot synopsis of the film, shall we? So, transition issues, Before the destruction of the planet Krypton, scientist Jor-El sends his infant son, Kal-El, on a spaceship to Earth. Raised by kindly farmers, Jonathan and Martha Kent, young Clark discovers the source of his superhuman powers and moves to Metropolis to fight evil. As Superman, he battles the villainous Lex Luthor, while as novice reporter Clark Kent, he attempts to woo co-worker Lois Lane. This is a film that I had not watched in a very, very long time, but I do remember liking, and this, of course, was groundbreaking for the time. This was, like, the first real great Superman, not Superman, great superhero movie out there, so went in basically with a fresh set of eyes again, even though I do remember liking this film, so let's see what I think of it. Alright, so starting off with the good I have here is, of course, none other than Christopher Reeves, the man himself, as both Superman and
Clark Kent. He does a great job at bringing both sides of the character out. With Clark Kent, he brings the nerdy side out perfectly, and then with Superman, he, of course, brings the charming and hopeful side out of him as well.
Along with his great performance, you also have the surrounding cast with Margot Kidder, I think that's how you pronounce her name, as Lois Lane in here. Her and Christopher Reeves both have really great chemistry with one another when they're Superman and Lois Lane in this film. You also have Gene Hackman, rest in peace, as Lex Luthor in here, who does a great job as well. I mean, he always does great in no matter what movie he's in. And also, even to a minor extent, because he's not in the movie much that during the whole entire film, that of course being Marlon Brando as Jor-El in the supporting role as well is great in here, so no surprise there, because the man that played the Godfather, I mean, I don't think there's a single bad performance of him in any movies, so he does great in that role too. I think as well, each part of Clark's little story in here, I think, was stretched out to perfect length. So you have the chapter where Martha and Jonathan end up finding him after he's crashed to Earth, and then you have that little period right there that I think they focus on decently there as well. You focus on his teenage years, which they do a good job with that. And then, of course, the majority of the film, you focus on him as an adult living in why am I blanking? Metropolis! I don't know why I forgot the name of the city, but because that's one of the most famous cities in all of comics in here. So, I think they stretched out each part of his story to perfect length. Along with that as well, you have some very, very memorable scenes.
Whether it's Krypton's destruction, or Superman flying with Lois Lane, or a couple Lex Luthor's swimming sequences, all the scenes are memorable in here.
The humor as well is quite funny, because this film came out in 1978, I think. So a lot of the humor probably wouldn't fly nowadays, so it's kind of funny watching some of the laughs and jokes that you have in here. Final positive of the movie, if you're talking about Superman the movie, then the number one thing you gotta mention is Christopher Reeves as Superman Clark Kent. But then the second thing that you always gotta bring up is the main score by John Williams. John Williams has done so many fantastic scores throughout cinematic history with this, Jurassic Park, Jaws, so many. I can't even name all of them because he's just a legend in the movie industry for all the music and scores that he's composed over the years. And this one's no different. I don't think there's maybe I'll say it's maybe tied with the Batman theme for like most iconic superhero theme of all time. It's just certainly up there. But that's the good done. Now, I don't have any mixed aspects, so let's just go on to the negatives. And number one, again, isn't really fair because this movie came out in the 70s, but the dated effect.
Now, I will admit there's one scene with some really good special effects for the time with a rocket, but all the other ones, yeah, they haven't aged well with Superman spinning and stuff. Yeah, it hasn't worked well.
Also, since it did come out in the 70s, there are some moments that are slow, but most of the time did keep my attention, and it was definitely well paced throughout. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was just my thoughts on Superman the movie. Let's bring out the toxic media, and this gets not toxic, an A-. It's definitely iconic for a reason, and it is the first genuine comic book movie that was great out there, so if we didn't have this movie, probably we might have not had any of the other ones. So this movie basically gave birth to the comic book genre in a sense. But as I said before, that is just my thoughts on Superman the movie. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this film down below. With that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace out.